The dessert menu used to be the safest part of fast food. You knew what you were getting, predictable, reliable. Maybe not gourmet, but at least honest. Not anymore. Some chains are now serving culinary crimes disguised as desserts. Fake gelato that's actually frozen syrup crystals. Beloved classics secretly reformulated with more sugar than before. Desserts pack in trans fats that cardiologists literally warn against. One dessert on this list sent multiple customers running to the bathroom. Another cost $5 for 3.6 ounces of crystallized disappointment. And one 56-year-old classic was destroyed in 1992, then somehow made even worse in 2018. Today we're exposing the 4 fast food desserts that are absolute disasters, and revealing the 2 that are actually worth your money in calories. Because life's too short to waste your dessert moment on sugar-loaded punishment or frozen regret, hit that subscribe button right now because we're about to save you from some seriously questionable dessert choices and potentially a bathroom emergency. Let's start with September 2024's biggest dessert scam. Number 1, Taco Bell MTN Dew Baja Blast Gelato. Taco Bell launched their Mountain Dew Baja Blast Gelato as a limited time celebration of Baja Blast's 20th anniversary. They called it gelato, charged $4.99, and made it app exclusive to force reward signups. What they didn't tell you is that it's not actually gelato, it's crystallized disappointment in a Dixie cup. You get 3.6 ounces of icy, grainy, crumbly frozen substance. The texture is crystallized and watery, crumbling off your spoon like cheap Italian ice. When it melts, it separates into thick teal water with sticky layers, because it's mostly corn syrup and artificial flavoring, not dairy. The taste is incredibly faint and watered down. One reviewer described it as, quote, like the last sip of a watered down Baja Blast, end quote. Another said it, quote, brings to mind licking a battery, end quote. The nutrition looks okay, 70 calories, 14 grams of sugar, until you realize there's almost nothing substantial in it. Mostly air, ice, and syrup. Here's the real kicker. $4.99 for 3.6 ounces equals $1.38 per ounce. A regular 16-ounce Baja Blast Freeze costs $1 during happy hour. You're paying 5 times more for less product and worse quality. One reviewer nailed it, quote, more goo than moo, end quote. This exists purely as a marketing gimmick, leveraging the Baja Blast cult following to force app downloads. They slapped the word gelato on frozen sugar water and charged $5 because super fans will buy it once for novelty. You're paying $5 to lick a battery covered in food coloring. But if you think fake gelato is criminal, wait until you hear what McDonald's did to a 56-year-old classic. Number 5, McDonald's. Baked apple pie. From 1968 to 1992, McDonald's served one of the greatest fast food desserts ever created, the fried apple pie. Crispy, flaky, molten filling, brown sugar glaze. Then in 1992, they switched to baked. The pie became soggy, doughy, and limp. Then in 2018, they reformulated again. It got even worse and somehow has more sugar. What you get now is a soggy, doughy lattice crust that feels microwaved. Customers call it a, quote, sad, soggy, doughy, limp pretender, end quote. The outer layer is dry and chalky. The interior is gummy and gelatinous. There's more apple go than actual apples. Cinnamon-flavored glue surrounding mushy bits. The taste is overwhelmingly artificial, like the idea of apple pie, not the real thing. They removed the beloved brown sugar glaze in 2018. Now it's coated with gritty, harsh, granulated sugar. Here's where it gets outrageous. The 2018 healthier version has 16 grams of sugar, 3 grams more than the pre-2018 version's 13 grams. Customer rage is real. One Twitter user exploded, quote, where's the apple pie exclamation point, exclamation point. The Frankenstrudel you have offered tonight is yet another example of big business sticking it to the common man, end quote. Why ruin a beloved classic? 1992, lawsuit fears over molten hot filling. 2018, cost-cutting disguised as clean ingredients marketing. The cruel irony, nobody goes to McDonald's for health food. They destroyed what made the pie special, the indulgent guilty pleasure moment, to chase a health halo nobody asked for. And they made it less healthy. This is the Frankenstrudel that betrayed a generation. At least it won't send you to the emergency room, unlike our next dessert, which is basically a cardiovascular event in a cup. If this ranking is already saving you from wasting your dessert calories, or worse, your health, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Because we're about to reveal a dessert that dietitians call out by name. and you don't want to miss this warning. Number 4, Burger King Chocolate Oreo Shake, large. The Burger King Chocolate Oreo Shake sounds like a dream. Vanilla soft serve, chocolate syrup, crushed Oreos, whipped cream. What it delivers is 91 grams of sugar, 22 teaspoons, or 4 to 5 days worth of added sugar in a single shake. Dietitians have listed this as one of the 10 worst fast food desserts on the planet. And the scariest part? It tastes so overwhelmingly sweet that most people can't finish it. The texture is thick, heavy, and coating. It leaves sticky film on your mouth. The taste is overpoweringly sweet, cloying, one-dimensional. The chocolate drowns out the Oreo completely. The first few sips are tolerable. Then the sweetness becomes punishing and sickening. Reviewers describe it as, quote, ultra sweet and super heavy on the Hershey's flavor and, quote, the nutrition nightmare, 670 to 740 calories, 91 to 97 grams of sugar, 10 to 13 grams of saturated fat. That's more calories than many full meals. Dietitian Amy Goodson said, quote, with 674 calories and 91 grams of sugar, this Oreo cookie shake is more than a dessert, It's likely more calories than what a meal should be for most people. Price is $4.99 to $5.99 for something you probably can't finish. This exists because of the Oreo brand partnership. Instant recognition means instant sales. It's designed for Instagram posts, not actual consumption. They target kids, teenagers, and impulsive adults who don't check nutrition facts. They're banking on familiar flavors and that most people won't realize they're drinking nearly 100 grams of sugar until they're halfway through and feeling sick. Sweet enough to put a hummingbird in a diabetic coma. But at least it won't give you a heart attack, not immediately. Our next dessert actually contains trans fats. Number 3, Sonic Cinnabon Cinnasnacks, 3-piece. Sonic's Cinnabon Cinnasnacks sound amazing. Deep-fried pastries filled with cinnamon roll filling, served with cream cheese frosting. The reality? 3 pieces contain 680 calories, 37 grams of fat, and here's the kicker, 3 grams of trans fat. The type directly linked to heart disease. The type that should be 0. The shell is initially crispy but gives way to greasy, croissant-like interior. It leaves residue on your fingers. The experience goes from sweet to sweeter to overwhelmingly cloying. The cinnamon filling is intensely sweet. The frosting is so thick and dense that, quote, you can stand a Cinnasnack vertically in it without any threat of toppling over, end quote. By piece 2, quote, that overwhelming sweetness is going to become cloying, end quote. They become soggy quickly. The nutrition horror, 680 calories, 37 grams of fat, 57% of your daily intake, 12 grams of saturated fat, 3 grams of trans fat, and 49 grams of sugar. Trans fats are linked directly to heart disease. The FDA says there's no safe level. Price is $3 to $4 for 3 pieces most people can't finish. A review site was literally titled, Why You Might Want to Avoid Sonic's New Cinnasnacks. This exists as a Cinnabon brand partnership. Sonic is leveraging the famous mall brand for customers without access to actual Cinnabon locations. What makes this particularly egregious is that it's positioned as a breakfast item. Starting your day with 3 grams of trans fats, 3 pieces of regret served with a cup of remorse. This is what happens when breakfast and dessert have a baby raised by trans fats. Okay, we've covered the disasters. Now let's talk about 2 desserts that are actually good. And if you're feeling grateful you dodged these dessert bullets, hit that like button. It tells me you want more honest rankings that actually protect your wallet and your health. Number 2, Wendy's Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. In March 2024, Wendy's launched their first spring-inspired Frosty flavor, Orange Dreamsicle. The internet was skeptical, but this one nailed it. Reviewers gave it 9 out of 10. Customers called it, quote, maybe the best Frosty flavor ever, end quote. And it costs the same as a regular Frosty. No upcharge for the nostalgia. You get that signature Frosty texture, thick, smooth, grainy, icy hybrid between soft serve and shake. The taste is perfectly balanced. Quote, light and delicate sweet orange flavor hits the palate first, before creamy vanilla flavors take over, with a refreshing light and tangy finish, end quote. It's not artificial tasting. The citrus is mellow and, quote, candy-like but not citrusy or sour, end quote. The color is pastel orange, Easter ready, not neon. It's evenly mixed with no syrup pooling. The nutrition is reasonable. A junior has 200 calories, 5 grams of fat, 31 grams of sugar. Price is excellent. Junior is $1.49, small is $2.29. The rave reviews, quote, "I think Wendy's has improved on that iconic good humor creamsicle flavor period. They nailed the balance of orange and vanilla here," end quote. Another said, quote, "It's more subtle than that comma presenting a sophisticated layering of orange and vanilla that has a natural elegance," end quote. This succeeds because Wendy's learned from past experiments. They perfected the execution, balanced flavors, reasonable pricing, perfect spring timing. The Dreamsicle name creates instant nostalgia without being cloying. Your childhood ice cream truck grew up and got classy. Proof that nostalgia marketing works when you execute properly. But as good as the Dreamsicle Frosty is, there's one dessert that beats everything else on this list. Number 1, Popeyes Cinnamon Apple Pie. Popeyes Cinnamon Apple Pie is a deep-fried turnover with real apple chunks coated in cinnamon sugar, and it costs under $2.20. In taste tests against 7 other chain desserts, it won. Customers call it, quote, "better than McDonald's, crispier and spicier," end quote. Food writers say, quote, "Popeyes Cinnamon Apple Pie is the stuff other fast food chains can only dream of achieving," end quote. The exterior is crispy, golden brown, crackling crust with bubbly fried texture. That perfect crackle. The cinnamon sugar coating actually adheres, unlike powdered sugar that ends up in the bag. The interior is gooey, warm cinnamon apple filling with actual visible apple chunks. Not just mush or goo, the taste is balanced, quote, "sweet, tart, and really balanced overall," end quote. Slightly tart apples cut through the sweetness. Robust cinnamon flavor with buttery notes. One reviewer said it, quote, "had an almost buttery flavor that I associate more with homemade desserts in," quote. The nutrition is reasonable. 240 calories, 11 grams of fat, 12 to 14 grams of sugar. Under 250 calories makes it one of the most reasonable fast food desserts. Price is $1.89 to $2.19. A steal. Quote, "Delighted to find that this convenient treat was not only delicious, but my favorite option of the bunch," end quote. This succeeds for 5 reasons. 1, it's fried, maintaining that crispy, indulgent texture. 2, real apple chunks, not just goo. 3, consistent execution across locations. 4, reasonable price makes it impulse purchase friendly. 5, pairs perfectly with Popeye's spicy chicken. This is what McDonald's pies used to be before they lost their way, the gold standard. Proof that fast food can do desserts right when they actually try. $5 for fake gelato. Reformulated classics with more sugar. Shakes pack in a week's worth of sweetness. Trans fats masquerading as breakfast. This is the dessert battlefield. But we've also got Wendy's perfectly executing childhood nostalgia, and Popeyes proving that fried beats baked when you refuse to cut corners. What separates winners from disasters isn't price. Popeyes charges less than Taco Bell's fake gelato and delivers exponentially better quality. It's not calories. The Dreamsicle has reasonable numbers while the Oreo shake packs nearly 100 grams of sugar. It's respect. Respect for the customer, respect for the product, respect for what dessert should be. Here's what matters. Fried beats baked for fast food pies. More expensive doesn't mean better. It usually just means better marketing. And the best dessert doesn't make you regret your choices 3 bites in. Hit subscribe if this changed how you'll order desserts, and drop a comment telling us which rankings shocked you most.